Let's talk about Nkichiblessing. Yes, the famous Nollywood actress and her ex-fiancé, Falagon or Falabon. Sorry, I can't pronounce his name very well. I am not Yoruba. I am Igbo. There's been a trending, lingering issue for months about these two couples. Trust me, I was one of their fans. I was rooting for them because I really liked them together. They look good together. So their issue have been lingering on the media for months. At some point, we thought that it died down and it picked up again. First of all, to add, Nkichiblessing is my friend. And a lot of people are going to be wondering, Blessing, you're close to Nkichiblessing. Why are you not giving her this advice privately? Now, I'm going to tell you, as a public figure, your life stories are being used as case study. And this lingering issue concerning Nkichiblessing is not just about her. A lot of relationship and marriage can relate to it. So it is not just her story. It is our story. We are just using her as a case study or as a point of contact to also reach out to other people who might be going through such. Let's quickly dive into the matter. Nkichiblessing and her ex. Do they still love each other? Yes, they do. They do love each other. Now, let me tell you people something people don't understand about relationship and marriage. And that's one part of relationship and marriage a lot of us in Africa have not been able to unlearn and relearn. Compatibility is different from chemistry. You can love people so much, yet you will not be able to cohabit with them. The problem we have in Africa is the fact that we always want to force compatibility and cohabitation. We have not learned in this part of the world that we can love people so much and still let them go. We have not learned in this part of the world that we can love people so much and not marry them and not date them, but we are good as friends. We have not learned friendship in this part of the world. Everything to us is love and marriage, love and marriage, love and boyfriend. Until we get to that point in our life, we would understand that I can love this person so much, but I can't stay with them. The problem we have here is the fact that if love or compatibility is not working, hate comes in. We've not learned friendship. Because I can't cohabit with you doesn't mean I can't be friends with you. We want to turn every man and every woman into our life, into boyfriends and lovers and marriage and husbands and wives. It doesn't work. These two couples still like one another. Trust me when I say so. They still love one another. That's the reason why they always find a means to communicate. They always find a means to trigger one another. They always find a means. That's what they do. So it is even us, the social media in-laws, that they are using to cruise. They understand their trigger points. Nkechi knows that Falagon will reply. Falagon knows that Nkechi will reply. You know that point you have stayed with somebody and you've understood their persona. They both understand each other. They both know their buzzwords. That's why they know how to trigger one another. They still love each other, but when pride and ego comes in, people no longer want to communicate. All Nkichiblessing needs to do with Falagon is have a conversation. They can be friends. They share something in common. They really do like one another. And the truth is, we don't even know what is causing the misunderstanding. They both know what is causing the misunderstanding. It might be one tiny thing that they've not been able to sit down and resolve. They're just using public noise and validation to still communicate with one another. Because today, Falagon will say another one. Tomorrow, Nkechi will say another one. Next tomorrow, the other one will trigger another one. The other one will trigger another one. Because almost everything that they're saying about one another are all lies. They are just triggering each other to be angry. Nkechi will come today, she will insult Falagon. Falagon will come today, insult Nkechi. This one will come and say sorry. This one will come and say no sorry. When they asked Nkechi in an interview, do you still love him? She said, no, I don't love him. I have a boyfriend, I've moved on. That's a lie. People don't move on like that. Nkechi showcased this man. He was one of the men that Nkechi told us that they were married or they were getting married. We saw beautiful pictures of them. She even took this man to his mother. So this man has eaten deep into her. It is not so easy to just wake up and let go. It's so easy for us to live in denial because we think that when we live in denial is an easy way to let people go. That's a lie. She still loves him. In as much as she's hot, maybe it's a way of her venting and expressing herself for him to understand that she's hot and making himself, he's not getting the message, he's retaliating. Sometimes some women's love language is shouts. Some women's love language is abuse. When they are shouting and shouting and screaming, some women are expecting the men to come and hold them. Where drama will start is when she's screaming and the man is screaming. So I think that's the conflict that is happening between the both of them. But if it's love, Nkichiblessing and Valagbon are still in love. Trust me. They are not just compatible. Maybe they cannot cohabit for one reason or the other. So, what should we learn from these both couples? We can be friends with people. It doesn't have to be love. Let us learn friendship. Because if Nkichiblessing and Valagbon are done, they will stop making noise. When you're truly done with people, you take a walk without noise. When you're truly done with people, you don't want anything that will associate you with them. You avoid them like dirt. But when you're still in love with them, you will always look for something that will make you talk. When you're still talking, when you're still fighting, when you're still quarreling and exchanging battles, you're still in love. Those are the attributes of relationship and marriage, not enemies. When people are truly your enemy, they will ignore you and be killing you silently. Yes. But when people still love you, that's when they are still shouting and still nagging and still, and that's what Nkechi and Valagbon is doing. I think they're just using us to seek validation and to, you understand, with the social media in-laws and to give us something to talk about. So I'm going to talk to other couples who are going through stuffs like this, like what Nkichiblessing is going through with her fiancé. I'm going to tell you something. Chemistry is not compatibility. You can love people so much and let them go. I'm going to also use myself as an instance. I've been married before. If you ask me, blessed see you, do you still love your ex? Yes, I do. But I cannot live with him. I still love my ex because if he's in trouble, I can help him. I still love my ex because I've forgiven him. I still love my ex because I still have that inner conscience to want to treat him right. If he calls me today and asks me for help, I will be honored to give it to him. Yes, I still love him, but I cannot live with him. I cannot marry him. Love is different from cohabitation. So because a relationship does not work, does not mean you automatically stop loving people. That's a lie. That's living in denial. We don't just stop loving people. It takes us time to be able to drift away. Sometimes, even if we are no longer dating people, we still care about them. We still want to see what they are doing. We still want to see that they are doing okay. We still want to see that they are doing fine. So let's stop turning relationship that does not work into enmity. That's ignorance. You just feel that because this person cannot marry you, he's suddenly your enemy. Because this person cannot, he's suddenly your enemy. No. Some people are better off as friends. Yes. Sometimes we go and marry our friends and leave our husbands. We go and marry our friends and leave our wives. Some people are better off as friends. And when it comes to relationship and marriage, cohabitation is number one. Because that's what you're going to be doing in relationship and marriage. You're going there to cohabit. You're not even going there to love. Love is going to be a tyrant. You can give love to anybody, but you cannot stay with everybody. Love is just how you treat people. You can love anybody. Yes, but you cannot stay with everybody. And that's the reason why when you are dating, you are looking for people that connect with you, people that are going your direction, people that relate with you, people that have similarities with you. That's the reason why in those days, you see people wanting to marry from their place. Because it was easier. If you marry from my place, you know my kindred, you know my parents, we eat similar food, we share similar culture, we share similar custom. It's so easy that when we have misunderstanding, that was why it was so easy for our uncles and our aunts and our families to resolve marital issues then. That was because we shared something together. It is harder now because we are marrying from different places. You marry from Yoruba, I love him. You marry from Hausa, I love him. So we don't share the same custom. That's the reason why it looks as if when the marriage is breaking, everybody say, oh yeah, everybody go your way. It's because we don't share similarities. That's the mistake a lot of us make in relationship and marriage. We think it's all about love. No. And that's one thing most people do not understand in dating and courting. It's not just about love. It's about cohabitation. It's about having a common ground. Like when you're getting married right now and you share the same pastor, you listen to the same sermon. It'll be so easy when you're having a misunderstanding with your spouse to go to your pastor because you listen to the same person. But if you're Muslim and this one is Christian and you people are quarreling, it'll be hard to resolve because you share different culture. If your imam is saying something else, my pastor is saying something else. So the problem is dating people who are not going to where we are going to. It is so hard. It is not all about love. It's all about cohabitation. Can you stay with this person? You people share similarities. There are some marriages that you can't even communicate with your spouse. If you're saying A, they are saying B. If you're saying B, they are saying C. So there cannot be a conversation. Some men are avoiding their wives because they know that every slight conversation will lead to an argument and a fight. So they rather not talk. Some men are not talking, not because they don't have something to say, but because they don't want to fight. What used to bring all those fights? People don't have common grounds. People don't share the same mindset. Do you understand? People are not going the same way. So every time there's always a conflict, there's always a battle, there's always a power tussle. This one is trying to prove that she's in control. This one is trying to prove that he's in control. It's not about power. It's about direction. The moment you find people that are going your direction, that is what is called friendship in relationship and marriage. Friendship in relationship and marriage simply means we share common grounds. We are going to the same place. So it's easier for us to talk and comprehend. It's easier for us to talk and understand. It's easier for us to talk and it's click. It's easier for us to make decision and it works. But when we're not going to the same place, if I tell you I want to go to Aba, you say you're not going to Aba, you go to Calabar. You know, we start to have conflict. It looks as if I'm stubborn. It looks as if you're stubborn. So where are we headed to? I'm just trying to say, if you have to date, it doesn't have to be love, 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 love. Focus more on cohabitation. Can I stay with this person? Do we have a common ground? Because when you get married, you're going to be cohabiting. You're going to be communicating more than you are loving and more than you are having sex. I've said it in one of my videos. You talk more than you fuck when you get married. That's when you get to understand that sex is just a very small thing. It's just a little bond that brings married couples together. The most important thing is communication and cohabitation. So that when you marry, your house will not begin to scare you, you'll not begin to run away. Because the beauty about marriage is conversation. The fact that you can't go home to talk to your wife, you can't go home to talk to your husband and tell them how your day went. You can't just go home and share. The beauty about relationship is cohabitation. The beauty about marriage is cohabitation and sharing. The moment you have lost these two things in your relationship and marriage, you cannot share, you cannot talk, you cannot cohabit. Marriage is dead. You people are just roommates. So I'm going to use this opportunity to enlighten a lot of young people who are about to get into relationship or marriage, and those of you who are still in your relationship, or those of you who are married, to actually pay attention to the stuff. Everything is not about love, 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 love. It's just an illusion. Love is an intentional act of how people want to treat you. Love is the effort people put in to treat you right. You can love anybody. When we are hearing this love, love, people think that people are born with love. When you see people you like, you just want to make an effort to treat them a certain way. That is love. The moment you stop making that effort, that's what it means that love have died. Do you understand? But cohabitation is what you have to strategically pick. And that's the reason why when you want to get married, you date. That dating time is when you take time to know, where are you from? Where did you school? What did you study? You begin to know how the person reasons, the person's upbringing, the person's way of life, what the person like and what the person doesn't like. That's when you start to know, can I stay with this person? Can I cohabit with this person? That's what dating is about. But the biggest problem right now we have is that we are going to date to have sex. You go there, you have sex morning, afternoon, night. You do not do the basic things about relationship and marriage. You go there, you have sex, you have sex, you have sex, you have sex. And that's the reason why when this relationship goes sour, the first thing everybody is saying, 1 minute man, you are smelling, you have crocro, you have this. There are more of rubbish sex talks to talk about when there's a break talk than more important stuff. And that's the reason why when people break up, they're so shameless. It's because they did not share so much. If you actually shared so much in your relationship, when you break up, there are some certain things you won't be able to say because there were more beautiful moments than sex. But when it's all about sex, 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 when the relationship break, it's all about you coming to tell us how the woman's private part is, how dirty she is, how the man's dick is 1 minute, and all those stuff. It's because people did not share anything vital. But when you share anything vital and valuable, you will value that friendship. Everybody will go their separate way and keep quiet. Because why do you value that friendship? It's because you learned something productive. That person taught you something. That person said something that was valuable. There will be no so much rubbish to talk about. But because people go into relationship and every time is knock, fuck, 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 you people have done blue film, you people have videoed yourself, you people have da 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 da. And that's the reason why once the relationship scatters, there is so much rubbish to talk about. So I'm going to appeal to Nkichiblessing and her ex, Falabo. Can you guys just sit down and have a conversation and stop behaving like a child? Yes, stop behaving like a child. When you guys were in this relationship, you guys did not get us involved. Can you guys sit down as adults and understand, even if the relationship is not working, you guys could just be friends, distant friends. You guys should stop all this noise. You guys are role models. People are looking up to you guys. You understand? I know a lot of whom might not be bold enough to want to tell you. Some people will be clapping hands, hailing you. Yes, Nkechi is my friend, but I'm going to tell you the truth to your face. You're beginning to behave like a child. Why don't you sit down with this man? This is somebody you've shared something with. This is somebody you've loved. You guys should talk about it. It's so it's so obvious that there's still a connection. And the beautiful thing about Nkichiblessing and her ex is that there is still a communication key. At least he's still listening to you. You are still listening to him. You can still read about him on blogs. He can still read about you on blog. There are some people that want to talk and there's no means of communication. Their exes have blocked every means of communication, so they can't even talk. So you still have that communication gap. I'll be that communication wire. So you guys can still connect and still talk. It doesn't mean that you people must date. No, it doesn't mean so. You guys can trash out your issues, hug and go your separate ways, understanding that we shared something together and we can no longer stay together. I think that's what you guys need to do right now. Drop your pride and just stop, because I still see some connection between the both of you. So with this viewpoint of mine, I hope I've been able to teach you something on this video using our famous actress Nkichiblessing and her ex-fiancé as a point of contact. So if you're going through what they are going through, you can't let go of your ex, or there's a fight, there's a fate, coming on the social media to make all this noise doesn't help. Trust me, everybody have what they're battling with, everybody have what they're struggling with, and nobody really cares here. Everybody's just catching cruise and just turning everything into content and cruise. So I'm going to say there are better ways to resolve this issue than coming to insult each other, banter with one another on the media. You understand? Since there's still a communication ground, you guys could still talk about it. I hope I made sense, and I hope I taught somebody something, and I also hope you learned something. And to quickly add, do you know that we have an office in Lagos State? Yes, we are right here in Lagos State in Lekki Phase 1. Yes, our office is located at Marowa, just opposite Ocean Crest School. You can talk to a therapist. These things you people are doing online, you can walk and talk to a professional therapist that can help you resolve all these issues. Social media is not where you get better resolving. I understand in this part of the world called Africa, we are not used to talking to therapists. We are used to, talking to our friends and our families. But when you talk to a therapist, it's easy for them to guide you because your mental health is at stake. That's the truth. We've all made this mistake of coming to rant on the social media, but trust me, let me tell you one thing the media does. When you come and rant like this, especially when it comes to your relationship or marriage, people begin to have a wrong impression about you. If people want to date you, they might get scared and say, one will get misunderstanding, now she don't run go social media. That's why me, I had to learn that lesson. There was a time I was always ranting about my ex on the media. I think my ex-husband is the only person I've always, ranted about on the media. Even though on my own part, I was trying to use it to teach. Most times is when I'm going to memory lane. But at some point I realized that, always talking about your exes and, telling the stories, portray you in a certain way. It looks as if you are unforgiving. It looks as if you're a troublesome person. So it's better you just talk to a therapist that can guide you, because all the ranting didn't yield any results. I started getting closure. I started healing when I started talking to therapists, when I started talking to, my mentors. They were able to guide me, teach me how to let go and teach me how to forgive. The social media has not helped in any way, trust me, because the people you are ranting to are ignorant and they're also young people. So I'm going to say, come and talk to us. You can call the number 070-195-11795. We'll be waiting for you and we love you.